Maria Louisa Sadenho was born on May 29, 1977, in La Fortuna de San Carlos, a small Costa Rican community known for its modest neighborhoods and hardworking residents. She grew up as the youngest of 5 children in a humble household where financial limitations shaped daily life and where higher education was something no one in her immediate family had previously achieved. From an early age, Maria stood out for her quiet determination, her disciplined nature, and an ambition that surpassed what many expected from a child raised in such circumstances. Her parents frequently described her as focused and curious, always drawn to books and eager to understand how the world worked. During her school years, Maria developed a strong fascination with chemistry and biology. Teachers consistently praised her academic drive, recognizing her as a standout student capable of achieving far more than the opportunities typically available in her rural environment. Fueled by a personal goal to become the first in her family to earn a college degree, she committed herself to excelling in every subject, often studying late into the night while her siblings slept. Her dedication paid off in 1994 when she received acceptance into Costa Rica's most prestigious medical school in San Jose, a milestone that marked the beginning of a new chapter in her life. Moving to the capital posed challenges, but Maria remained closely connected to her family, visiting them often and sharing her accomplishments with humble gratitude. Her persistence carried her through medical school, and she graduated in 2000, beginning a demanding career as an anesthesiologist. Over the next 15 years, Maria steadily advanced, ultimately becoming head of anesthesiology and recovery therapy. In 2015, she earned a reputation for professionalism, kindness, and steady leadership. Despite her achievements, Maria's journey was marked by significant personal sacrifices. Long work hours left little time for socializing or forming relationships, leaving her without a love life for many years. This emotional groundwork set the stage for the romantic connection. She eventually pursued one that would bring both joy and heartbreak before her tragic death in 2017. At the age of 40, Maria Louisa Sadenho entered a new chapter of her personal life. After years devoted almost entirely to her career, she met a fellow doctor at her hospital. He was from a different department but shared her intellect and sensibilities, qualities she had long sought in a partner. For the first time in many years, Maria Louisa felt that she had found someone with whom she could build a future, someone who could understand the demands of her work and the depth of her ambitions. She allowed herself to embrace hope, believing that she had finally discovered a lasting relationship that would bring balance to her life. However, by the start of 2020, her life took a devastating turn. Her relationship unexpectedly collapsed when her partner began seeing a younger colleague. The news was shattering. Maria Louisa, who had invested emotionally in the connection, was left heartbroken. The abrupt betrayal triggered a period of intense emotional struggle. She withdrew further into her professional life, using work as a shield against the pain of rejection. Her days became consumed by hospital responsibilities, leaving her little opportunity for social engagement or emotional recovery. During this time, her small dog, Mafati, became her primary source of comfort. The loyal companion provided her with a sense of stability and emotional support that otherwise was absent from her life. Amid this personal turmoil, the global COVID-19 pandemic had disrupted normal routines, adding a layer of isolation and stress. By July 2020, the cumulative pressures of heartbreak, professional demands, and the pandemic environment left Maria Louisa in need of respite. Seeking relief, she decided to take a short weekend trip alone, choosing a quiet hotel on the Costa Rican coast. She selected the Lemanzian Inn in the Punta Arenas region, a location that offered seclusion and a peaceful setting. The pandemic had reduced guest numbers, leaving the hotel nearly empty, a circumstance she valued. She arrived on July 18th, carrying Mafati, and spent her first day enjoying the beach and walking along the shore. That evening, she dined at the hotel restaurant, and later, she spoke with her mother by phone, describing the hotel as quiet and serene. She planned to check out the following morning, a routine departure that she would tragically never make. On the morning of July 20th, 2020, Hotel staff at the Lemanzian Inn began to notice that Maria Louisa Sadenho had not appeared for breakfast. With only a handful of guests staying at the hotel due to pandemic restrictions, her absence quickly drew attention. As checkout time approached, concern grew among the employees. Inside her room, her small dog, Mafati, barked incessantly, signaling that something was amiss. Staff members knocked repeatedly on her door but received no response. The persistent barking continued, heightening their unease. Hoping to reach her, they went around to the private courtyard attached to her ground floor room. The second door leading to the courtyard was unlocked, allowing them to enter without a key. Once inside, the staff immediately noticed faint brownish stains on the floor. Dried but unmistakably blood, their apprehension escalated when they approached the bed and discovered a body tightly wrapped in a white sheet. One employee screamed, while another quickly contacted emergency services and hotel management. Paramedics arrived shortly thereafter, but it was already clear that Maria Louisa had been dead for several hours. The scene prompted a formal investigation, and forensic teams documented the room carefully. The examination revealed multiple injuries, numerous cuts and bruises, defensive wounds on her hands, and multiple bite marks across her body. Signs of torture were evident, and the autopsy confirmed that the cause of death was mechanical asphyxia with a broken neck. Investigators also determined that she had been sexually assaulted. Items in the room included a half-full bottle of mineral water, an open bottle of wine, and 2 glasses, consistent with her usual habits. The courtyard door required no electronic key, allowing potential access without entering through the main entrance. Security cameras at the hotel were turned off due to cost-saving measures during the pandemic. Forensic analysis revealed that the bite marks on her body had been contaminated with her own saliva, suggesting a deliberate attempt to destroy DNA evidence. Additionally, investigators found that her body had been carefully washed after death, further indicating that her attackers had taken calculated steps to remove evidence before leaving her room. Investigators' first lead emerged from a memory shared by Maria Louisa Sadenho's mother. During a phone call just before her death, Maria Louisa had mentioned speaking with a man at the hotel, describing a brief conversation during lunch. This detail guided authorities to Theodore Herrera Martinez, a 38-year-old employee at the Lemanzian Inn. Martinez worked as a bartender and occasionally ran personal errands for the hotel's owner, a position he had obtained through family connections. During initial questioning, Martinez exhibited nervous behavior, avoided eye contact, and claimed not to remember speaking with Maria Louisa. Officers also noticed fresh scratches on his face, neck, and chest. When asked to remove his shirt, additional scratches became visible across his shoulders. Martinez's explanations for the injuries were inconsistent, drawing investigators' attention. Forensic analysis linked Martinez directly to the crime scene. Blood and skin particles beneath Maria Louisa's nails matched his DNA, indicating she had fought vigorously. DNA from inside her body further confirmed his presence. Shoe prints discovered near the bed and at the threshold of her room were consistent with Martinez's footwear. These findings made him the primary suspect in the investigation. Authorities soon turned their attention to Luis Carlos Miranda, a 36-year-old friend of the hotel owner who had unrestricted access to the property and often stayed for free. Bite marks on Maria Louisa's body potentially corresponded to Miranda, though the evidence was not conclusive. He was arrested and held for 6 months as police continued their investigation. The investigation then revealed Harry Bowden, the 69-year-old Dutch owner of the Lemanzian Inn, one bite mark on Maria Louisa matched Bowden's dental impressions, a discovery that prompted his immediate arrest. Bowden had previously undergone surgery at the hospital where Maria Louisa worked, suggesting he might have noticed her and remembered her face. Initially placed under house arrest, Bowden violated the terms by changing his residence without notifying authorities and was transferred to custody. Bowden's younger husband, Yatter Daniel Aban, denied any involvement, and no evidence linked him to the crime. Forensic findings indicated that Maria Louisa had been attacked by at least 3 individuals and had been gagged, leaving fibers and a thread in her mouth. Messages she sent to her sister in her final hours mentioned the man she had interacted with at the bar, later identified as Martinez. Further corroborating investigative leads, the legal proceedings surrounding the murder of Maria Louisa Sadenho officially began in September 2022, more than 2 years after her death. The delay reflected the complexity of the investigation, the number of suspects involved, and the need to gather sufficient evidence to support prosecution. From the outset, prosecutors faced significant challenges in proving the involvement of Harry Bowden and Luis Carlos Miranda. The evidence against them was largely circumstantial. Bite marks and text messages were central to the case, but both proved difficult to link conclusively to either man. During courtroom disputes, the defense argued that dental impressions were not definitive and that the bite marks could not reliably tie their clients to the crime scene. To reinforce their case, Bowden's defense team flew in an orthodontist from Madrid, who testified that the bite marks on Maria Luisa's body were inconclusive. The expert claimed they were insufficient to establish a direct connection between his clients and the crime. However, investigators later discovered that this individual was not properly accredited, holding only the title of expert without valid credentials. Once this testimony was dismissed, the prosecution still lacked any solid forensic evidence linking Bowden or Miranda directly to the murder, leaving their involvement uncertain despite investigators' belief that at least 3 people had attacked Maria Luisa. The defense further contended that a single physically strong individual could have carried out the crime alone, undermining the argument that multiple attackers were necessary. In contrast, evidence against Theodore Herrera Martinez was definitive. His DNA was found inside the victim. Skin cells beneath her fingernails confirmed a struggle, and blood was discovered on and inside his shoes. Shoe prints at the scene matched his footwear exactly, leaving no reasonable doubt regarding his participation. Ultimately, the court reached a decisive verdict. Martinez was found guilty on all charges and sentenced to 50 years in prison without the possibility of parole, effectively a life sentence. Bowden and Miranda, however, were acquitted due to insufficient evidence and released in March 2023, their direct involvement in the murder unproven, highlighting the challenges faced by the prosecution in navigating a case with complex forensic and circumstantial components. Following the trial, Theodore Herrera Martinez maintained that his interactions with Maria Luisa Sadenho on the night of her death had been consensual, asserting that he had left the room before any violence occurred. Despite the overwhelming forensic evidence linking him to the crime, DNA found inside the victim, skin cells beneath her nails, and shoe prints matching his footwear, Martinez denied responsibility for her murder. His claims emphasized a separation between the intimate contact and the acts that resulted in her death, a defense that contrasted sharply with the forensic findings and witness testimony presented during the trial. After the acquittal of Harry Bowden and Luis Carlos Miranda in March 2023, Maria Luisa's family sought to challenge the verdict, believing that critical evidence had not been fully considered and that both men may have played active roles in the murder. They filed an appeal. In September 2023, an appeals court reviewed the complaint and issued a decision ordering the case to be reopened, allowing for the possibility of a new trial. The court recognized unresolved questions surrounding the involvement of multiple perpetrators and the necessity of thorough examination to seek justice. However, the reopening of the case confronted a significant obstacle. By the time of the appeals decision, both Bowden and Miranda had already left Costa Rica and relocated to the Netherlands. The absence of an extradition treaty between the two countries for this type of offense rendered any attempt to bring them back to face trial legally unfeasible. As a result, the legal system was effectively unable to hold them accountable, leaving the investigation stalled and the pursuit of justice incomplete. The unresolved nature of the case underscores the lasting impact of Maria Luisa's murder. A respected anesthesiologist, a dedicated professional, and a devoted family member, she was brutally killed in circumstances that continue to provoke national outrage. Her family remains in search of closure, while 2 men implicated in the investigation live freely abroad. Despite convictions and legal efforts, the case highlights the limitations of the justice system when critical suspects evade prosecution. The story of Maria Louisa Sadenho remains a tragic, unresolved chapter in Costa Rica's history, a stark reminder of violence, impunity, and the ongoing struggle to achieve justice for victims and their families.